Welcome to the Live Sports of New Mexico show. My name is Chris, and we're here just talking about life, talking about sports and how they interact with each other. And I enjoy doing it. I hope you guys at home enjoy thinking about it, challenging yourselves. Okay, what was Coach Chris talking about? What is he, how did he do it? How did he approach it? I think it's important. So this is my platform. I've been through, I've been an athlete since I was in third grade, played college basketball, now coaching, got a little bit different perspective as I've gotten older and older. So I hope the stuff that we talk about today really helps you guys out. Summer is here. Last week I was about 2 days away from summer as a teacher, and usually it's tougher because like I said, we got to clean up and everything and stuff like that. But I'm glad it's over. I'm glad I get to focus on coaching. Today was actually our first workout right after the Memorial Day 3-day weekend, and usually after week or after holidays or whatever, you eat big, you stay up late. So our guys struggled this morning. We actually did a 2-mile run today in the sand over on the west in the Petroglyph area. Really nice trail. I mean, it's really good trail. If you run in the sand, it's really good for your ankles. It's a lot tougher. It strengthens you. So I highly suggest that if you are looking for a trail to run, go run over there. It's on the west side of Unser and St. Joseph's. But I think it's really important. You got to do something this summer. You can't just sit around. You can't wait like, oh, let me do it next week. Why not start now? You have all this free time. Even today, I ran with the kids, and then I went to go lift weights. Just hey, it's just that time where I could focus on my physical body and also my body mentally as well. So I think it's really important for you guys to get out there, enjoy the sun, go to the pool, even do pool workouts. I've done pool workouts, and I feel like I'm the most out of shape person when I do pool workouts. It's a different type of conditioning, different type of cardio. I really applaud those guys that do it for a living. It's really, really tough, but I enjoy doing it. I know a lot of you guys know that Pastor Brian, he's usually here speaking with we're going back and forth. He's been a little bit busy these last few weeks, and I kind of been taking over, but I think Pastor Brian's doing a great job over at our church, at Legacy Church. He actually led a service this past Wednesday. The title was called Dare to Be Different. It was a lot of different things, kind of really talking about how do we be different. I think it really kind of applies to what we're going to talk about. Pastor Brian, he actually led the main service, but he does a good job with our Young and Unashamed group, which is our middle school and high school group. So if you are looking for that, your age range for someone to talk to you, at your age, Pastor Brian is a great guy to do it. He does a really good job over there. So dare to be different. Today we're kind of talking about this. It's called GOAT. The acronym's GOAT for greatest of all time, and basketball. Especially after what we saw, kind of like with LeBron and what he's done over the past 8 years, it's truly been remarkable. And I kind of go back throughout these decades and kind of really break it down and dissect this decade by decade. So you go to the 90s, you go to the 2000s, you go to the 2010s. A lot of people now that are on social media and stuff like that are talking about this, and this is the reason why I don't get into it, have really not seen even Kobe or even Michael Jordan. But when you look at the 90s, you say, okay, who was the most dominant player? I think a lot of people would say Michael Jordan. You look at the 2000s, you probably would say Kobe Bryant. In terms of most dominant, most, a guy that's always, in the championship or getting close, the guy that always had the target on their back, I believe it was Kobe Bryant. And then obviously in 2010 to now is LeBron James. You could even look at teams. I think if you look at teams, I think you still say the Chicago Bulls for 1990s. And again, I was born in 92, didn't really watch basketball until, I got about 6 years old. So I didn't really see a lot of Michael Jordan, a lot of Chicago Bulls basketball. And so I think, with Michael, it's kind of been a lot of highlights. And a lot of people see a lot of highlights, and a lot of people see a lot of stats with Michael and even Kobe Bryant. And so I think Kobe, with winning 5 and being a part of 7 NBA Finals from 2000 to 2010, really showed kind of his dominance in that era as well. And then you have in 2010, he's been running the table in the East. Doesn't matter what team he's on, what number, is LeBron James. And so I really want us to kind of go through these three different type of players, not because, I'm here to kind of debate who's the best player. They're different decades, and the game is evolving. I think the rules are evolving, as you see, to have more points on the scoreboard. It even started with the three-point line. Why is the three-point line added? Because it's to put more points on the scoreboard. You see things, it's less and less physical. As we get old, as the game evolves, it's getting less and less physical and more about skill than anything. I grew up a Laker fan, and, it was just nice to be able to throw it down to Shaq and let him go to work. But now it's like they're taking the big out of it. They're making the big play up. They're making the big play a high pick and roll. And so now that's not really, you can't really say that. You can't really have that dynamic anymore. So we have this different game now. And so that's why I think like this debate is always going to be tough to talk about. It's always going to be perspective. It's going to be this old guy that's saying Jordan's better, Magic's better, Bird's better than, the guy over here is saying, Durant, LeBron, even, my age, Kobe. There's always going to be different types of perspectives and different points of view on that. But what we're going to talk about, especially in our next segment, is that what really separated these guys? Why was Michael so dominant in the 90s? Why was Bryant so dominant in the 2000s? And why in the 2010s, why is LeBron so dominant? So I really just want to get into these guys. I really want you to think at home when we go to break. Think about these three guys. What did they do differently? Why are they so great? And what did they give to the game? How did they change the game? And how did other guys approach the game with these guys? So I hope you guys stay tuned. We have a great show. We're going to really get into this stuff. We have a great guest, and another college player. He's going to be coming in today, and you're going to maybe you could guess who he is. Another Cibola Cougar. He plays Division I basketball on the east side of the country. So to see if you guys could guess who's coming on today. All right, we'll see you here in a little bit.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, # life change will occur.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Carmody Medical provides solutions for your everyday needs. Hot and cold compression wraps provide therapeutic compression for the shoulder, hip, and knee. The therapy wraps are constructed of an insulated outer fabric and a ventilated cotton pocket to protect the body. Elastic belts allow mobility and deliver a gentle, adjustable compression. The reusable therapy packs can be removed from the pouch and placed into the freezer. Contact Jim for more information.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Welcome back to the Live Sports of New Mexico show. Today I'm really going decade by decade and really dissecting, how the NBA has been evolving in terms of its rules and even the players that have evolved from it. And so, like I said before, the rules have changed. I think the rules are gearing towards more let's put the ball, let's see how many points we could put on the scoreboard. Let's see if we could get it to 200. We almost did in the All-Star game. So we have to really, think about why stats are kind of really irrelevant. I think stats really, you could look at them, you can say, well, I think, LeBron's on pace to break every stat. But I think it is getting easier it's even easier to rebound now. Just because of less, a lot more physicality, if you're trying to be physical, a lot more is being called. So I really think that you can't really measure it on stats, but what you can measure it on is what separated them. So when I think about Jordan, I think about a guy that just, he really did work hard. He's really athletic, tall, big hands, fit the part athleticism. But we also see that in players today. How many players do we see that are either have the same athleticism as Michael Jordan or even more athleticism than him? So I don't think it really was athleticism for him. It was really the mindset he went about the game each and every day. What he wanted to do, the passion he had, how hard he worked. It's different with him and with LeBron because, he spoke about this. He said with Jordan, he wanted to be. He didn't want to join forces. And I think that's how the game's evolving today is a lot of players are wanting to join forces. They're too friendly, and you look back in the old highlights in the 80s and 90s, they were physical. They didn't like each other. As I got older, obviously you get respect for each other, but it's competitive, and you can't fault anyone for that, for being competitive. So I think with Jordan, he just said, I don't want to be he told his management, I don't want him. I don't want Barkley, the Stocktons, the Malones, the Olajuwons. I think he really focused on, hey, I just want to beat these guys, and I want to beat them. Give me the pieces I need, but I really want to beat these guys. And then with Kobe, in the 2000s, another guy just really, he really was influenced by Michael Jordan. And I think that's why Kobe could kind of get lost in this, because you see Michael and then right away you see like the sequel of it. And it's like, well, you kind of want to wait till the sequel of Michael Jordan. So I think Kobe was kind of the remix of him. Very similar style play. But again, his mentality, I think his mentality has influenced so many people. You look at Jason Tatum, he talks about it, Devin Booker, all these young guys, Kyrie Irving, they talk about this Mamba mentality. It really is just another level of competitiveness that I haven't really seen since Bryant left. Especially with James, I just saw James Harden play last night. I just didn't see that sense of urgency. I think that's what Chris Paul really brings to the Rockets with them. And so I think they really missed that. And with Chris Paul, that's the thing with people say he's not living up to his expectation. He is. He's a winner. He just hasn't had the right pieces. This year he did, but unfortunately he got hurt. And so, but anyways, that's what Kobe had. He had this Mamba mentality that's really influenced the game. And then you have LeBron. Just someone, when he's on the court, he makes everyone around him better. It doesn't matter who he has, it seems like. He's going to make them better. And then he brings out the best in them. So LeBron has been a great all-around player. We've seen it. I hope he influences a lot of people. But that's what you guys got to see when you look at great players. You can't just admire them. You can't just say, like, oh, they're great. Well, once you, focus on what they do. It's funny because they all reinvented themselves. I don't know if it was good or bad, but they all kind of reinvented themselves. But this is why they changed the game. This is why we've seen the proof. Jordan goes and plays baseball. He wins 3 championships, goes and plays baseball. Chicago doesn't win anything. He comes back and he wins another 3. I mean, that's really, he's reinventing himself, changing the game. When he leaves, totally different. When he comes back like, didn't skip a beat. So I think him having that influence was huge. Then in the 2000s, Kobe, he loses Shaq, his most dominant player, the guy that he's able to just throw into and go to work, and that best probably 1-2 combo ever. And he really has this mindset like, you know what, I'm going to show you I can win without Shaq. So he really had to reinvent himself, went through some tough years, and show that, hey, he could reinvent himself to where he even changed his number, just like how Jordan was trying to change his number from early 2000s to late 2000s. And in between, he really had to reinvent himself and come out of that. And so I think that was really huge of him to do. And then LeBron, going from, you know, playing in Cleveland to start off his career, then a contract year, he goes to Miami, and he makes big things happen in Miami. You know, he has LeBron, he has Wade with them, he has Bosh with them, and then he comes in, and then after that, he's grown up a bit. He goes right back to Cleveland. So going to Cleveland, okay, Cleveland's always in it. Then they're starting to get, you know, the lottery picks. He comes back to Cleveland. They're winning championships. They're in championships. I mean, you got to look at this influence. You see this trend here, right, of the influence of these guys and what they have done for the game of basketball. How they've changed the culture, how so much focus is on them. They're always the main line. They were always the main line. Everything was about them, and the target was on them, saying, well, I want you to fail, but they rose to the occasion. And so I really think we got to think about that, guys. What really separated these guys? It's just the way they went about it. A big thing with LeBron is his strict eating diet. I forgot, there was like 4 things he went down to. He said he was going low carb, no sugar, and I mean, he looks tip-top shape. He's actually 7% body fat. I'm at 14%. I'm on the border of low, almost into medium, but he is at 7% body fat, just lean muscle. He's quick, he's fast, and that's what separated him. You see all these other guys that came in with the draft in the 2003 draft, and why is he up at the top of it? Is because of how he took care of his body throughout these years, and you know that's an injury prevention. You know, making sure he's conditioned, he's strong enough. He always focused. Every time we saw LeBron, he always was trying to improve something. First, he couldn't really shoot, all right, and then he couldn't really play make. He was making bad decisions. Now look at him. So I want you guys to focus on that. I really want you guys to think about, okay, these are the guys that just really influence the game. In whatever sport you follow, really think about that player, that person, whoever it is, he or she. How not only do you admire them, but how do they influence your athletic career? How are they helping you? What are they doing? So that's why when I grew up watching Kobe Bryant, you know, being a Laker fan, he just really helped me to how I am today. You know, how hard I work. I just have this competitive drive now that I want to be the best teacher. I want to be the best coach. I want to have the best team. Because if you don't want to be the greatest, then what are you doing this for? I want to be the greatest coach that's ever lived. Will I get to that point? I don't know. But why would I limit myself? And that's what Kobe really taught me. He said, why would you ever limit yourself and say, you know what, I'm just going to be maybe the top 10. Maybe I'm just going to go to a Division II school. Now, why limit yourself? Why say, no, I'm going to strive for D1. If I fall to D2, okay. At least I didn't fall far. They say D2, all right, I'm going to junior college or whatever. We have to really focus on that and say, you know what? I'm just going to be the best I can possibly be. Don't know if I will, but I can. Doesn't matter where you're from, where you're at, you could be the best at what you want to be. Coming up, we'll talk to a player from Jacksonville State University. He's also a former Cibola Cougar. All right, his name is Christian Cunningham. He's going to be coming in kind of talking about his experience actually in Division I basketball, and even in March Madness, he's participated in that. So we're excited to talk to him and catch up with him to see what he's doing. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, # life change will occur.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
The Barley Brew, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Welcome back to the Live Sports in New Mexico show. Today we talked about, we dissected the differences of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James, how they dominated their decades, and hopefully you took something from them, how they went about their game, how they went about their lifestyle, the way how they changed the culture, they reinvented themselves, all that stuff. So hopefully you took some stuff from that. But right now we have a really special treat for you guys. Another guy from Cibola. He's coming in. He's back home from college. Plays at Jacksonville State University Division I school in Alabama. We'd like to welcome here Christian Cunningham to the show. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So I always like talking about this because I think it's really important for our viewers to see this, especially the athletes that are going through it. Really talk about your recruiting process in high school. Kind of go through, maybe year by year, and kind of dissect down what you had to do, how coaches approached you, kind of stuff like that.
I mean, my freshman, sophomore year, I'm still learning the game. I'm still trying to improve on my game, form new aspects to my game that I didn't have. I'm still young. So as a junior and senior, I'm getting the AAU circuits. I'm playing more basketball. I'm seeing players from other states and seeing how good they are. And so I just take away from the games that I play on how to get better. And then as coaches start approaching me, I learn what to do, how to act, going on college visits. My first college visit, I was very shy, very nervous. I was barely talking. As I got more comfortable, I just learned the system, learned the recruiting process, just learned how to function with coaches around, and when they start offering, they start texting you, calling you. Right. It's almost like a girl that's interested in you. You just they texting you, they get to like you. Yeah, they keep stalking you. But okay, that's really because I saw your recruiting process. I'm glad it's been working out for you over there in Jacksonville State. So kind of talk about now. You playing high school ball here, then you make this big jump into a Division I basketball. Really talk about the differences and what you really had to change in your game once you got on campus. And say, what, there's some things I got to work on and improve on. Condition was a big aspect of it. I mean, coming from New Mexico, the elevation is really high, and going back to Alabama, the elevation is like 300. So that wasn't a big difference for me. So I kept up with the guys pretty well. Physicality, strength. Definitely had to gain some weight. Probably put on a good 20 pounds when I got there. I know I was like 180 when I got there. Got to 205 by the end of my freshman year. The game's a lot quicker, a lot faster, and you got to be a lot more skilled. I hear you there. I remember my first time. Well, I came from California, so coming to elevation, that was a big blow for me. All right, so let's go now. What everyone wants to know is about the food. So I'm sure it's probably really different, here in Albuquerque than you got food in Alabama. Right. Which one's better? Man, honestly, the area I'm in, it's real small, so I can't really say the food's better, but in the South overall, it's just a different taste. I prefer my New Mexican food better. I'm always I'm always a little homesick, but I'm never against a fried chicken and some grits. Right. I heard their sweet tea's pretty good. Oh, delicious. In Alabama, so that's delicious. I went there one time and I tried it. It was pretty good. All right, so we were talking earlier in this show. We were talking about our favorite players, and we were talking about the greats and people like that. Who was your favorite player, or still is? And then also to that, what have you really taken away from them? Do you mimic their game? Do you mimic their lifestyle, their mentality? What is it about them that you like about them? Honestly, Kawhi Leonard, hard-nosed, working blue-collar guy, doesn't get too flashy. I mean, he's an all-star. He's a great player, but he's humble. Like, he's humble off the court. He's humble on the court. He's not trying to make it seem he's just playing hard. I mean, I know I don't even think he played this past season, but even seasons before, he's just trying to do his very best for his team to get a win. That's how the game should be played. It shouldn't be played with, oh, I'm just out here to get 30, or I'm out here just trying to get double-doubles, get my stats up. Like, we should play to win and play to get better. Just how like Kawhi plays.
So have you seen that? Because I've kind of seen that too. It is a lot of stat padding now. It seems like
definitely.
I just like you could kind of tell the mentality and the difference in mentality. Like you said with Kawhi, it really isn't like that. It's really some guy that just I'm going to do whatever I can for the team. I know you're a big rebounder over at Jacksonville State. You can see that with Dennis Rodman, back in the 90s. He was killing on the boards. He didn't really score much, but that was his role. So I think it's really huge. I think that is definitely a big difference right now is there's stat patters and then there's ones that go out to win the game. So now after your third year, right? This is your third year, going into your senior year. Now you're kind of seeing the end of the college career. It goes by fast, doesn't it?
Definitely. I just remember my freshman year, also graduating high school.
Jeez, yeah. I'm 5 years out and it still feels fast. So what are your plans really? What are you thinking about after college? Do you still want to play? Do you still, if that doesn't work out, is there other avenues you want to take, stuff like that?
I mean, coming up on my senior year, plan on getting my degree. Hopefully have another great season, go back to the tournament. Finish my career off, sign with the agency, try and hopefully make it be a two-way player or even just play overseas.
Yeah, sky's the limit there. You could always try, and if it doesn't work out, you always have your plan Bs. And so again, your degree, I think it is really important. I think you're in business management.
Yes, sir.
You could do a lot of things with that. So you never know what could happen. So you talked about getting to the tournament. You played against Louisville. Big stat you had here, big time shot block. You have 5 blocks that game. Kind of really tell our viewers about that game. What was the experience of going through the practices? You have people watching you practice, and then people kind of what I've seen in the NCAA tournament, they're actually kind of rooting for you because they want to see the upset. So kind of talk about the atmosphere and how you went about that game.
Man, we showed up probably 2 days before. Had a little walkthrough in the Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Crazy experience. Just you got media recording you, everybody taking pictures, and game day comes, stands packed. I've never been in something like that. I don't know how many thousands of people there. Just crazy atmosphere. I mean, I'm nervous, about to throw up. Just crazy experience, but it was fun. Just guys playing basketball, really. I mean, there's a different level between high major and mid major, but at the end of the day, it's just basketball. So, I mean, guys are going to put up shots. If I block it, I'll block it. If I get the rebound and go back up with it, that's what I'm doing.
So yeah, that's really cool because I remember those. It's just the atmosphere is different because there's not really like a home or away crowd. There's just a crowd in there just seeing what could happen. So before we let you go, from freshman to sophomore year, we have your stats. You were 4.8 to 8.2, and you said your junior was about the same. That's a big jump. That's halfway. Then your rebounds go from 4 to 8. You set a team high or a school record in block shots. Your freshman was 45. Then you went to 59 your sophomore year. So what, when you look at that, what has really been the biggest key to your improvement in your player development?
I think this was the same time I was still working out with you, doing Rise and Grind. I was just dedicated, try to stay in the gym, remain lifting. From my freshman year, I knew the game, but I knew it from high school, and from my sophomore year and junior year, I knew it from a college perspective. So I knew what to expect. I knew how to play. I knew the way calls were going to go. I knew how to get around people. It's just a learning and experience thing. I just learned and got better. That's the simplest way to put it.
Yeah, and this is the best time, guys, the summertime. This is when we get better. So again, thank you, Christian, for coming in, giving your insight. I'm glad you're able to come in as your home. We'll hope to see some good things coming from you coming up next year. All right, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week. All right, we'll see you guys later.